In the Edmond drug ring trial in Washington, 24-year-old Rayful Edmond convicted of running a $2 million a week cocaine crime outfit in the nation's capital. The one-time schoolyard basketball star faces a mandatory life sentence now. 10 co-defendants, including friends and relatives, were found guilty on related charges. Security surrounding the trial was unusually tight. Names of the jurors were kept secret even from the judge and lawyers to guard against possible reprisals.
I'm back better than ever. I'm back better than ever.
Hell yeah.
I'm back better than ever.
In the Edmond drug ring trial in Washington, 24-year-old Rayful Edmond convicted of running a $2 million a week cocaine crime outfit in the nation's capital. The one-time schoolyard basketball star faces a mandatory life sentence now. 10 co-defendants, including friends and relatives, were found guilty on related charges. Security surrounding the trial was unusually tight. Names of the jurors were kept secret even from the judge and lawyers to guard against possible reprisals.
I'm back better than ever. I'm back better than ever.
Hell yeah.
I'm back better than ever.
In the Edmond drug ring trial in Washington, 24-year-old Rayful Edmond convicted of running a $2 million a week cocaine crime outfit in the nation's capital. The one-time schoolyard basketball star faces a mandatory life sentence now. 10 co-defendants, including friends and relatives, were found guilty on related charges. Security surrounding the trial was unusually tight. Names of the jurors were kept secret even from the judge and lawyers to guard against possible reprisals.
I'm back better than ever. I'm back better than ever.
Hell yeah.
I'm back better than ever.
In the Edmond drug ring trial in Washington, 24-year-old Rayful Edmond convicted of running a $2 million a week cocaine crime outfit in the nation's capital. The one-time schoolyard basketball star faces a mandatory life sentence now. 10 co-defendants, including friends and relatives, were found guilty on related charges. Security surrounding the trial was unusually tight. Names of the jurors were kept secret even from the judge and lawyers to guard against possible reprisals.
I'm back better than ever. I'm back better than ever.
Hell yeah.
I'm back better than ever.
In the Edmond drug ring trial in Washington, 24-year-old Rayful Edmond convicted of running a $2 million a week cocaine crime outfit in the nation's capital. The one-time schoolyard basketball star faces a mandatory life sentence now. 10 co-defendants, including friends and relatives, were found guilty on related charges. Security surrounding the trial was unusually tight. Names of the jurors were kept secret even from the judge and lawyers to guard against possible reprisals.
I'm back better than ever. I'm back better than ever.
Hell yeah.
I'm back better than ever.
All right, we were having some technical difficulties, so I had to make sure you all could hear and see the clip. Got a couple of text messages that you all could not hear it. So thank you so much for being patient. How y'all doing? What's going on? I haven't seen y'all in so long. Let me just fix a couple of things over here. Can you all see and hear me okay? I know my glasses are giving a little glare. Do me a favor. If you are in the chat, wherever you are, comment, say something, say hello. I haven't been here in a while, so I definitely want to greet those of you who are watching. And let me tell you something. I am very humble, so I am excited that I have, it looks like over on YouTube, I have 11 people watching. So thank you so much for um hey sis, how are you? Thank you all so much. Yes, hey Monique. Yes, I got my girls here. Thank you all so much for loving me and supporting me. I know I haven't been, let me take these off for a minute until it's time for me to read. I know I haven't been over on this side for a while. But guess what? I'm here today. I'm here today. And I felt like this is a conversation that we all can appreciate. This is a conversation that we all need to be having. So I know you saw the flyer. I know you are reading the banner, The Life and Death of Rayful Edmond, DC or Nothing. Nobody is bigger than the code. I feel like my content is changing. You all know there's so many things that interest me. It's not just you know, things of church, fashion, style, family, things like that. It is also urban novels, urban crime, law and crime, how people get in trouble, how people get out of trouble, how the government don't always show favor to our people. So I have lately been involved in a lot of cases. It's the YSL case, it's Little Dirk, it's the Ole Miss case. That's what I've been doing. So I don't know if I'm shifting over into the legal aspect, right? So you all know I'm still in school getting my doctoral degree, but I'm thinking about shifting a little bit because that's my interest. I just love to see how those things work. So yeah. So before we jump right into it, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. Let me do a wellness check. How is your mental health? On a scale from 1 to 5, how are you doing mentally? Me, I would say I'm about at a 4, but girl, I'm hanging on by a string. Let me tell you. Nonetheless, I'm doing well. It's the holidays. Many of us are dealing with grief, depression. Last year, this time, I was spending time with my grandmother. Just before Christmas, and you all know she ended up transitioning in January. So she's been on my mind a lot. So I've been doing really well. I'm getting better with how I deal with grief. My relationship with God has allowed me to deal with grief a little different. But anyway, thank you for being here. I know some of you came for one specific topic and or subject. You want some tea? Y'all know I don't have no whole bunch of tea. I'm coming to talk about the same stuff y'all have already seen. But let's jump right in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So yeah, it's all over the news. It's all over social media. Um yes, Monique. It's giving hair. Y'all like my new hair? I turned 46 and said I'm gonna give me some new hair. So it's been trending. It's all over social media. Um I spend a lot of time on social media now because I get a lot of information from social media. However, I do what a lot of people don't do, and that's fact check because I am a student, I am a teacher, I am an educator. I'm a bootleg journalist. So that means I just can't be reporting on things unless I know that it is accurate. So I don't want you to leave here and feel like, girl, I don't know what she was talking about. None of that's true. So just know, and I'm going to play the clip again because I know some of you are coming in. But just know I had to go back and read a couple of articles, look at a couple of news videos and clippings because again I want to make sure I'm giving you the correct information because some of you only get your information from social media, but if you're going to get the information from me, and some of you only get your information from me because you say I trust her, I believe her, she operates in integrity. So if you're going to get the information from me, I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information. With that being said, again, thank you so much for tuning in. I get so excited when I see these numbers go up. It says I have 21 people watching. Let me tell y'all something. This is how I know that God is going to bless me as a viewers, because I'm excited about the handful. I'm excited about the 21. Thank you so much. I knew that 10 p.m. would be a good time because everybody's settled in. They're at home. They're in their beds. They're watching TV. I wanted to catch everybody. I didn't want you to be in traffic because this is a trending topic. This is a really big topic. I would like to say, yeah, Jasmine, 3 or 4 is good depending on the day. I would like to say that the opinions are mine and mine of my own. If it's not my opinion, I will be able to tell you where it was cited. I do not condone violence. There are a lot of things I do not condone, and you will start to figure that out as you stick with me on this journey tonight. But I don't condone violence. I don't glorify violence. However, let me say this. The however is not directly connected to me not condoning violence. The however is, I have a little caveat to what I just said. Many of us were raised in certain households. You have rules in your household, you have regulations in your household. I come from the era of you don't sit around grown people talking. If you see grown people talking, you leave out the room. I come from an era of if you're sitting at the table, you don't put both elbows on the table. One of your arms should be in your lap. That's the era I come from. I come from the era of yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yes and no. Thank you. Please and thank you. I was raised in that era. And I would also say, I was also raised in a household. First of all, I was conceived in prison. My father was in prison. So there's some things, there's some street codes I had to live by. There are some things I just had to know. Many of my friends, many of my homies, my husband taught me what a code was, how to live by the code, how to not do this, how to not get involved, how to not just volunteer information. However, although I am a law-abiding citizen, for me, I'm kind of in betwixt, right? And so I still live by that code, and nobody is bigger than the code. Many of you may not know that because you may see me with the hat on, or she's safe. I'm all of those things, but nobody is bigger than the code. Because again, this is what I believe, and this is how I believe. If you don't want to hear how I believe, just log out. But I think many of you love me enough to know I've said this before. I've talked about my favorite movie. When my favorite movie is The Godfather. Godfather 1, 2, and 3. 3 is the one that some people miss or some people don't watch because it's not as intriguing. There's not a lot of violence in 3, but 3 has a lot of lessons just like 1 and 2. And so The Godfather has really taught me a lot. In Godfather Part 2, Michael was having a conversation with Hyman Roth. Michael was having a conversation with Hyman Roth. And if you are into, urban novels, urban movies, crime, things like that, The Godfather is definitely a movie. If you're a business owner, The Godfather is definitely a movie you should watch. Michael Corleone and Hyman Roth was having a conversation. Mike was asking Hyman, about some money, about this, about that, and Michael also asked him about an order that was given. Who gave the order? Who did it? If you don't know, giving an order says that you put a hit out on somebody. Mike was having a conversation with Hyman and said, "Hey, who gave the order to do X, Y, and Z?" And Hyman Roth stood up. He sat up in the chair and he said, Mike, there was this young man. I'm getting to the story, y'all. Just be patient. He said, it was a young man. I loved him a lot. Although he was loud, he was saying crazy things. He was sleeping with a lot of women. He took a bullet to his eye. When he took a bullet to his eye, I did not ask who gave the order because I knew this is the business we've chosen. So I didn't ask. And I'm saying all that to say, again, I don't glorify violence or street life. But when you make a decision to get involved in street life, that is a decision that you chose on your own. That is a business that you chose to get involved on your own. And so with that being said, come what may, whatever come with it is yours to eat. Whatever is on your plate, it is yours to eat. So again, this is the business we've chosen. When you choose the business, you can't ask a whole bunch of questions. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? How did it happen like this? No, you chose to get into that lifestyle. And that is what comes with that lifestyle. Unexpected deaths, it's a war going on. It's casualties. It's casualties to that war. It's all of these things. And so I'm gonna play the clip and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna dive right into what's going on. So for those of you who do not know, I am Yukia. I am your host of the Speak Well podcast. I've been gone for a little while, but I'm back with the jump off. And what better way to be back with the jump off than to have a conversation about a man, about the myth, about the one they called a notorious kingpin turned informant, because we have to include all of those things, right? What better way to get y'all's attention than to say this is a trending topic? Because see, if I want to be a blogger, right, then when the topics are trending, I need to jump right in, right? So I'm gonna need y'all support because I want to be a full-time content creator like everybody else. What don't y'all think the people need to see my face? Don't y'all think the people would tune in to hear from me and to see me and hear what I'm talking about? So anyway, thank y'all. I'm gonna play the clip and I'll be back. It won't play. Let's see. Here we go.
In the Edmond drug ring trial in Washington, 24-year-old Rayful Edmond convicted of running a $2 million a week cocaine crime outfit in the nation's capital. The one-time schoolyard basketball star faces a mandatory life sentence now. 10 co-defendants, including friends and relatives, were found guilty on related charges. Security surrounding the trial was unusually tight. Names of the jurors were kept secret even from the judge and lawyers to guard against possible reprisals.
I'm back better than ever. I'm back better than ever.
Hell yeah.
I'm back better than ever.
Okay, so you all had a moment to watch the little short clip. And I want to also say this, my prayers and my prayers and support to his family, because no matter what lifestyle you live, you leave behind a family, you leave behind grieving loved ones. And so we want to send out prayers to the family that he has left behind. I showed you a clip, and I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember this story or to have followed this story or even know Rayful. And so if you're here for the first time or you're here from another one of my channels, we're going to give you some information on Rayful, so you're just not here listening like, who in the world are they talking about? In the clip I showed you, where the case was so high profile that Rayful had to stay at, I want to say it was Quantico, while he was going back and forth to trial. As you can see, they were on helicopters being transported. They just didn't want to take no chances or trust them escaping, or somebody helping them escape, or anything like that. But the point I want to get at is that when he was getting off the helicopter, he was walking, he had the handcuffs on. He looked back at the camera and said, "I'll be back." I don't know if anybody caught that. So I read lips often when I'm watching things like that, because sometimes people don't really catch it. So he basically said, "I'll be back." Well, with all the stuff that he was facing, nobody really believed that he would be back. We just thought he would have a life sentence and he'll be in ADX and he'll just do his time there. I took some notes so that I can provide a little bit of meat to our conversation tonight. Again, feel free to drop your comments in the chat. I'm not biased, right? But I have my own perspective on things. So I definitely want to have a a conversation, a open-minded conversation. So feel free to drop things in the chat. Let's have a conversation. If you're over on Facebook, thank you so much. I see some Facebook comments. If you're over on YouTube, thank you so much. So Rayful was convicted in around about the 90s for running a cocaine ring of that raked up millions of dollars, right? In sales. He sent the murder rate up so high. That is how we got coined the phrase the murder capital of the nation. Some of us don't know, we think we know a lot of history about DC, but I will go so far as to say Rayful is a part of DC history, good, bad, or indifferent. That's the one thing we definitely got to. His name has been mentioned in songs. His name has been mentioned in movies. His name has been mentioned with the best of those. His name have been mentioned several times. This story is trending. You're probably going to see this story trending. That is how infamous / notorious he was. The crack epidemic hit the district so hard. I was affected by that. I was born in 1978. I was affected by that. At the time when my mother was pregnant with me, I would not say I was a crack baby, but I might have been a crack toddler. I don't know. I don't know if that's some of you. So for the next 20 years, Rayful provided information to the feds that led to convictions of at least 100 people. And that number may not even be accurate. At least 100 people. Court documents show that. And just know, if you ever want to read up on any of these cases, all you have to do is get a Pacer account. And I know actually DC will let you read up on some of these cases if you just go to, I want to say districtcourts.com or dccourts.gov or something like that. Just go on Google, but you can read up on this stuff. This is a part of, if you want to know why people act the way they act and do the things they do in for certain generations, go back and read some of this stuff, because people didn't just pop this. We didn't just pop out of thin air like this with all these rules and these regulations and all this stuff. We came from something. Rayful oversaw an operation that smuggled as much as 1,700 pounds of cocaine into the city each month, and the latter part of the 1980s. They estimated that he made about $2 million per week during that time. $2 million per week. Here we go. Some of us didn't even know how to write $1 million on a piece of paper back then. Some of us may be close to seeing our first million now. He was bringing in almost $2 million per week during that time. Federal prosecutors said that Edmond helped jail dozens of other dealers. He broke up distribution rings and even taught prison authorities how to better prevent trafficking inside the prison. His assistance previously resulted in the early release of his mother, Miss Purry, Constance Purry, who was sentenced to 14 years. Now let me pause, and I'm not making excuses. When they come after you for something as big as that, they coming after everybody. Because he knew his mother would get time, let me just go ahead and be an informant. Let me just go ahead on this snitch, right? We ain't talking about if it was right, if it was wrong. I have an opinion. I'm also a daughter, and I also have a mother, right? But I'll let you all go back and forth in the comments and windmill in the comments about right, wrong, should he have done it or whatever. So when he started cooperating, it prompted them to pretty much put him in witness protection. Rayful was considered a legend in DC back in the late 80s, the 90s. He was a kingpin of the drug game. His network, I'm just going to add a little bit of context of his network and distribution. And these are all of my notes. Rayful set up an empire. He had a whole operation moving weight, cocaine coming in from the south, and he had a crew of dealers pushing crack all over DC and surrounding areas. He wasn't hustling. He was running a well-oiled machine. Violence and control. In the game for him, it wasn't all about money. It was about money, power, and control. Rayful was known for being ruthless. He kept his turf on lockdown with intimidation and violence. If you crossed him, you best believe it wasn't going to end for you well. And that's the reputation that helped him keep rivals in check and keep his crew loyal. Give me 1 second. Okay, my apologies. Money laundering. With all his cash flow, Rayful had to get smart about handling his business and handling his money. He was washing his money like a pro, investing in legit businesses, flipping the cash into his personal life. He did that by thinking he can outsmart the feds. And let me tell you this, because I'm trying to get Lil Durk out of jail. You may not always be able to outsmart the feds. They're gonna figure out a way to infiltrate your camp. They will let you make as much money as you want, take out as much people as you want, but when they're ready to get you, they're going to get you. Ain't no way around it. They're going to get you. They will have your children to give you up. They'll have your baby mother. Listen to me, sirs and men's. They will have your girlfriend, the one that you take really good care of, and you give her all this money and you do all this stuff for her and you're on the street. They will give her more money because you do know they put informants on payroll. I don't know if y'all know that, but they put informants on payroll. Okay. All right. So Rayful was looking at some serious time. He had a choice to make. And what was his choice? He decided to flip, become an informant with the feds. With all the inside knowledge he had, he became a high commodity for law enforcement, helping them to take down a lot of other players. As an informant, Rayful dropped some serious intel that helped bust major drug rings and lock up some big names in the drug world. He opened up a playbook on how the whole operation worked, giving the feds the inside scoop they needed. So Rayful did all of this in hopes to reduce his time. He still ended up getting a life sentence. And I'm not even going to go through all my notes because I want to talk to y'all. He still ended up getting a life sentence. After snitching, Rayful went into witness protection. It wasn't easy for him. He had to watch his back because not everyone was happy with the choice. Rayful spent almost 30 plus years in prison and his name was still ringing. He was still considered to be an informant. He was still called a rat. And whether you all know it or not, and I don't know if you know it, Rayful got released over the summer. I remember the news doing like a poll. Someone said, seems like the feds lied. Okay, let's talk about it in a minute. They actually did a poll. I don't know if you all remember a couple of years ago where they asked, would DC residents accept Rayful back into the community? And guess what? Believe it or not, it was a mix. It wasn't the numbers were kind of balanced. It was some yeses, it was some nos, because some people felt like, well, he had taken really good care of my family. I knew that I was safe if he was around, and he paid my rent. He bought me food. He did this for me. He stopped past my church. And some people were saying, oh no, he's responsible for my whole family being on crack. He's responsible for some of my family members getting killed. So there were some, there was some mixed feelings and some mixed emotions about it. So he ended up getting released over the summer. And the clip that I showed for me was the only clip that I seen was him saying, I'm back better than ever. And let me pause and tell you why those few words stuck out to me. Because when I was doing my homework on Rayful, and I study my history, I studied DC history. Shout out to Eon over on DC Blacks. Go and subscribe to his page. I'm over on DC Blacks often because I'm listening to some of the stories. Some of those stories remind me of where I come from. When I listen to some of those people share their stories, some of them older guys are friends of my dad who's no longer here. When they show pictures of the old Lord, and I remember when I was taking them trips down there. So sometimes I just have to go back down memory lane for my own sanity. So again, go over to DC Blacks and subscribe to Eon's page. But I was saying all that to say, I actually forgot what I was saying, but it'll come back to me. So Rayful ended up getting released in the summertime. Oh, I know what it was. So two things. When he was getting off the helicopter, he said, "I'll be back." And when he was released, and we saw that video of him look like in a mall or airport, he said, "I'm back better than ever." Let me tell you what I told my husband. I said, and I hope don't none of my brothers in DC get upset with me. Y'all know I'm very transparent, but I got to be honest when I say this. Some of the men in DC are the most arrogant. I don't know if it's due to the stigma that DC has. I don't know if it's due to how well DC is respected. I don't know. But DC men, some of them are the most arrogant and the cockiest. And I said this because you see him going to back and forth to court, cameras everywhere, getting off the elevator. He's walking, he's got his jumpsuit on. I mean, he's walking with both shoulders. He says, "I'll be back," like the Terminator. And then 30 years later, he says, "I am back. Like I told you, better than ever." And I said, that's the arrogance I'm talking about. So let me pause and let me use this opportunity while I have people watching me. The Bible says, pride come before the fall. Listen, it's okay to humble yourself. It's okay to ask for forgiveness. It's okay to repent. It's okay to turn away. But let me tell you something. I have worked with a lot of men from DC. I have taught men incarcerated. And let me tell you, ooh, child, let me tell you, y'all too much. And sometimes it's not cute. It's really unattractive. Women don't want to deal with that. Y'all too cocky. Get it together. And some of you are cocky for nothing. You're too cocky for nothing. You don't have no money. You ain't got a high school diploma. You ain't reading or writing. Nothing. So that's my thing. Let me get off of that. I just needed to say that because I'm gonna need y'all to be a little bit more humble. And I'm not saying let nobody play with you. I'm not saying let nobody talk to you like a sucker. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, come on, y'all. Come on. And I say this out of love. I've said this to a lot of the men that I mentor, that I have taught. Snap out of it. Because why you think you the big dog is somebody bigger and can prove it. They bigger on paper. They bigger in their mind. They're bigger in assets. So relax, please. There are women that need men, but they need you to relax before they even approach you or give you the time of day. All right, so back to our subject for tonight. So Rayful gets out and he's saying, I'm back better than ever. He goes into a halfway house. Let's talk about that. You have given 30 years of your life. You have been a government informant. You have done all these things, and you still ended up doing 30-something years to come out, and in less than 7 months, you die, allegedly of a heart attack. I also read this. I was shocked to even know that he was going to a halfway house. Okay. When I started doing my homework to see where this halfway house was, I was told the halfway house is in Tennessee. This is an article that I read from a Tennessee journalist. It was an article written. But then I also read another article that said he was in a halfway house in Miami. Now, I'm saying to my husband, if they put you in Miami, now that's a setup. If you are from DC and you're going into witness protection, they shouldn't send you to New York, Miami, Atlanta, or California. Any of those major cities that we frequent often, to have a name that big, you let them put you in Miami. Could that be directly connected to his arrogance? Miami is a melting pot, y'all. Have y'all ever been to Miami and been on the beach and y'all see them ships going back and forth? What y'all think be on the boat? How many times have y'all looked and saw crack cocaine swim up the shore? Miami? So even if you were in a Miami halfway house, because they wrote it, you hadn't changed your name, arrogant. So you are a government informant. You get out after 30 years and you're still going by the same name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Arrogance. So I'll say this. So it was reported that he passed away today. And as I was preparing my material, I really didn't know what it was. So I wasn't going to report what it was, but I read again in a more recent article that it was a heart attack. Now, I'll tell you this, with all of the work that I do with returning citizens, there have been so many times where men have done so much time in prison. Pause. Let me also say this. This just dropped in my spirit. I don't want to forget. What I have found that has happened lately, men who've done time in Lorton specifically, I can't speak about the other prisons because I know this for certain for Lorton. Men who are between the ages of, listen to me, because I'm a researcher. Men who are between the ages of 50 and 69 or 70, maybe a little older. That's an approximate amount of time. If you spend any time in Lorton or you know a loved one who has, please encourage them to go to the doctors. Let me tell you why. And I'm not going to name them. But there have been several men in my family connected to me personally or connected to somebody I know that have died of hepatitis C and liver cancer. That's concerning to me. The number is absolutely alarming of how many people that I know or that I have gotten information that they had liver cancer. And I say, did they have? So let me tell you, you can get hepatitis C first. If you do not treat the hepatitis C first, hepatitis C will attack the liver. And you can live with it for years. You can have liver cancer for years. And the liver cancer and the hepatitis C is kind of lying dormant. Men, I encourage you to please get checked out. There are 10 men that I know that have died, and all of them were in Lorton during a specific time. They had hepatitis C. And I also asked this, and somebody may can help me. Was there a vaccine that was given out to men when they first got to Lorton? That's the first question. Were they testing men for hepatitis C when they got to Lorton and over a span of time? That is the number that I have names written. That's not normal. So those of you that have loved ones, ain't I smart, y'all? Those of you that have loved ones who have spent time in prison, specifically men, please encourage them to get checked out. Specifically check them out for hepatitis C and check the liver. My father had both. Some friends of mine, their dad had the liver cancer. mentor of my husband's before my husband came home. He had both hepatitis, liver cancer. 3 other men, hepatitis, liver cancer. So you spend 30 years in prison to be in a halfway house. You're away from family. You're away from friends. Your name is pretty much mud in your community. And you got to think, you were coined the notorious drug kingpin. His name will always be remembered. Be whether they say Rayful or Rat, his name will always be remembered and mentioned because of what he did took DC by storm. Again, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. You come out to only live less than 6 months and die of a heart attack, allegedly. So let's talk about it. Do we got any comments? Anybody want to come up? I can send you a link or something, but let's talk about it. Drop it in the chat. How you feel about it? And again, and I still say this, my prayers are with his family. I am not glorifying nobody's death. Y'all know I'm the owner and the CEO of the Federal Agency. I have prayed for, I have buried the victim. And I've had to pray for the person who killed the victim. I've always been in the middle because that's my assignment, right? I am saved. I am a law-abiding citizen, but I also live by a code. You can't come in this house and be 5 years old and tell on the next 5-year-old because David gonna sit you down and have a whole conversation with you. That is how I was raised, and that'll never change. So I hope that you all were informed. I hope I was able to give a little bit more information. I think I pretty much gave you all most of what I wanted you to know. But I will say this. I wrote this. Rayful's story is a classic cautionary tale about the drug game. The way it tears apart communities, the violence that come with it, and the tangled web of loyalty and betrayal. His life showcases the bigger issues of drug addiction, crime, law enforcement, struggles in society. While we're talking about Rayful, let's just even have a conversation about the YSL trial. You all know I've been watching the YSL trial. I can't watch the Lil Durk trial, but I have to read because Durk's YSL was a state. They streamed it. Durk trial is federal. You ain't getting up in no courtroom with no phone. You're going to have to read it after each court appearance, right? But the both of those have in common is betrayal. The government don't care nothing about you. They don't care nothing about your money. The government actually wants to destroy you if they can. Is this what they want us to think? So let's talk about it. Let me talk about some of the comments that I read from other people's pages. So some people were saying it's cap, it's a lie, I don't believe it. Put your thinking caps on, y'all. Let me just ask this question. Why would he need to fake a death at 60 years old and you've done 30 years in prison? You could have faked your death 30 years ago. You could have faked your death when they first released you. You didn't even have to be seen at an airport. You didn't have to be seen at all. So why now? So make it make sense. Is it that he faked his death to come back to DC? Did he fake his death to go to Cuba where they said Tupac is? What would be the logic in fake? And maybe somebody can enlighten me. Maybe I don't know. What would be the logic in faking his death? Or Sharice, are you saying it wasn't a heart attack? You saying they slipped him a Mickey? How do y'all think he died? Was he poisoned? I think we already ruled out it wasn't a homicide. So is that what you're saying? I don't. But for me, this the other thing. Why this the other thing I say about I said DC men gotta They too arrogant, right? I might get dragged for saying this, but DC, some of DC, I really need y'all to go back to school. I do. Y'all be in these comments and on these blog sites fighting for y'all life and don't be knowing what y'all talk. Y'all have to do research. Y'all gotta read. Y'all do, because I be reading y'all comments and I be saying, what are they talking about? Y'all be in them comments fighting for what? Philip, I'm serious. What would be the logic? What would be the logic of him faking his death? Just anybody tell. At 60, listen, he came out with his same name. He didn't come out as Abdul Raquin. He didn't come out as Michael Fisher. He came out as Rayful Edmond. Went in the halfway house. The man could have been dead. He could have faked his death along. Why now? What's happening? What is the big deal if he faking? What am I missing? Maybe I'm missing something. And help me if I'm missing something. Santiago, you said, I wonder if he got his health checked when he got out. I'm wondering that, but I'm gonna tell you something. Once the government use you up, they don't care if you get checked out or not. Once you give us up, once you give up those names, you can die in here, or we can release you and you can die out there. We don't care. Yeah, rephrase it, Sharice, because maybe I didn't get it right. But I'm glad you said it that way, because that prompted me to say what I wanted to say to the people who were saying he's lying. Why would the prison system does not have effective health care? That's for one. To eat processed foods for 30 years, that's two. Men who spend a lot of time in prison, please get your stomachs checked out, get your kidneys checked out, get your liver checked out, get your prostate checked out. And notice I'm talking to men, because I have done so many funerals for men, and the family say he wouldn't go to the doctor. I couldn't get him go to the doctor. My father, God knows, rest his soul, and he know I'm gonna talk about him like a dog. He went to the doctor. They told him he had liver cancer. He was gone in months. You have to go to the doctor. By the time he found out, he couldn't get a liver transplant. He could barely go to immunotherapy because it was all too late. Save your family the heartache and get checked out. Whether you in prison, if you don't get checked out in prison, write to the warden. If you're in Federal Bureau of Prisons, write to CIC. Tell people you're not getting the adequate. Learn how to advocate for yourself. As cocky as y'all are, I know y'all know how to advocate for yourself. So learn how to advocate for yourselves. Sharice, I'm waiting for Sharice to rephrase that. Let's see. I'm trying to read some of the comments. Take care of yourself, though. Definitely take care of yourself. You in the street, and if you feel like being in the street is something you got to do, it has to be temporary. You can't turn that into a lifetime. You can't turn being into the street. That can't be permanent for you, because nothing comes out of that. You die or you going to jail. You're going to turn your mother into a psych patient, because you're going to be out in the street. You're going to get 100 years. You're going to die. She's going to have to bury you. You're going to turn her into she's going to love your parents enough to go somewhere and get a job. Do the family really know about his health? Meaning, did he pass away from a heart attack? Okay, so several articles that I read, and this didn't come from bloggers. Several articles that I read said that he passed away from a heart attack. Now, we gotta wait for forensics. You gotta wait for autopsies and things like that. So let's see what they say, and that's tragic for a family. A family, you're gone for so long. I don't even know if he was able to get visits, but then you come out, then you're not living in the state in which you are raised in and born in, and you died. What a hell of a way to live. We can't even talk about how he died because he just died today. What a hell of a way to live. That's no way to live. You throw your whole and I get it. We all like money. We do. But we gotta find another way to get it. You know how I want to get some money? I want to get this blogger's money. So I'm gonna need y'all to help me get some blogger money. Share the live. I have 17 people here. Please subscribe. If you're over on Facebook, please come over to Speak Well Podcast and subscribe. So you can get notifications, because I think my content is going to be leaning more towards these type of conversations. I got to keep you updated on Dirk. And let's talk about Dirk while we here, because y'all done pluck my nerves with Dirk. And let me tell you something. Y'all know I got a soft spot for Dirk. Dirk is my nephew. Dirk is in prison for a murder for hire. He's currently awaiting trial for this murder for hire. When the news hit the blogs, all y'all saw was somebody wore wire. Then y'all put out that it was OTF Jam that wore wire. We don't know, because it haven't been confirmed if it was OTF Jam. Y'all gonna get OTF Jam jammed up because OTF Jam done put up multiple posts that it wasn't him. Y'all saying he lying. Y'all don't even go into Payson and read the paperwork to see what the paperwork saying. First of all, the paperwork not gonna tell you who wore a wire. Not right. You got to see that in trial. It's developed and it comes out and it is revealed in trial. So this what y'all did. Y'all said OTF Jam snitch. He did this, and the other. But the other thing y'all did to make y'all said, oh, Dirk is cooked. Dirk is done. He can cancel Christmas. India can get another man and all this stuff. They would not let Dirk get home detention because they said Dirk was trying to flee the country. Y'all said Dirk is cooked about fleeing the country. They trying to use Dirk lyrics. So Dirk supposedly, allegedly had Quando Rondo's cousin murdered, and Dirk wrote a song. And Quando Rondo found out his cousin was in the car dead, and he screamed, "No!" So Dirk made a song using that same phrase, "No!" So y'all went to the blog, read the blog, and said, oh, see, I told y'all they using the lyrics. He really did have something to do with Quando Rondo's cousin getting killed, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Go to my Instagram page. His lawyer revealed today what the government didn't do. And I'm going to tell you what you need. If you in the street, you're going to need some money because you're going to need a lawyer. You can't be in the street and don't have no lawyer money, okay? You're going to jail. You're going to jail for a long time. What was revealed today was his lawyer went and did his homework. His lawyer said, hey, let me get them flight tickets that y'all said he purchased. He purchased multiple flight tickets to flee. Dirk wasn't trying to flee. He had multiple flight tickets because some of them were layovers and then some of them were domestic flights, and Dirk wanted to fly first class. Y'all went for that. Oh, he trying to flee. Y'all didn't do no homework. Then y'all said, oh, he wrote that song after he killed Quando, Rondo's cousin. The song was written months before the boy got killed. But y'all wouldn't know because y'all don't read. Y'all be in these comments and y'all be fighting for y'all life and y'all be going back and forth and y'all be arguing with people, because I get it. Some of us have our favorite artists. Some of us got our artists we don't like. So I get it from that aspect. But y'all, you shouldn't even be commenting if you don't have the right, if you don't have pertinent information, true information, or maybe you just comment because you can comment. But you gotta, y'all be sending people to death row who are innocent. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something about Dirk's lawyer, Drew Finley. I hope the government dotted all their I's and crossed every T. Because if you missed anything and Drew find it, Dirk is going home. I'm praying for him. Now, y'all know God assigns people to me. I told y'all. That's my ministry. I don't know nobody in the city that got that ministry. Maybe somebody's pastor, but I got it. I'm assigning people lives. And I'm assigning some people lives. I pray them out of jail. But let me tell you how this go. I pray once for you. When you get out, You reoffend, beloved niece, nephew, you, my friend, are on. Don't call me. You on your own because I done did all of this to get you out, and you go back and do something dumb. So, young thug, when I start getting involved in your case, you walk. You got 100 years probation, but you at home. And all the other guys in your co-defendants, they either went home or they got a little bit of time. Now, young thug, you out here showing off and you throwing shots at Gunner, who was probably the bread and butter when you was locked up, was able to pay for your lawyer, and you talking crazy. Now, if you go back, because you got 15, that's a long time to walk a straight line, especially when you're a Negro from Atlanta. You can go back, my friend. I'm off the case. I'm off the case here. Now, Dirk, I used to have this same job with Meek Mill. I used to be assigned to Meek Mill. He kept going. He kept going. Now, I think I prayed for him 2 or 3 different times because some of the times was unjust. Meek, if you go back this time, you on your own. I don't think you will. I'm not assigned to Diddy. God didn't give me Diddy. God didn't give me Tory Lanez. He gave me Dirk. He gave me YSL. The first portion of YSL. He assigns me to people. So I gotta see how this Dirk thing gonna unfold. But I think I'm coming to the conclusion of my segment. So if I don't have any questions, we can kind of close out. I'll show the clip again. And as I get information, I can probably come back. I always said I would do once a week for the podcast. It needs to be a little more. I need to find a time that I can just kind of pop on. But here's the thing. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all haven't been really good. Y'all haven't been consistent with showing up for me. I'll come on here, and there's 3 people here, and I'm going to need y'all to show up for me if I'm going to do this full time. Okay? And FYI, my birthday passed. And for those of you that don't know, I was in a car accident on December 1st. So I'm in recovery. I am getting better every day. So if you see me, I'm sitting up straight. I have a few, injuries. And it said Instagram disconnected the stream. They disconnect after 1 hour. But here's the thing, Instagram. When I went over there, I didn't even see me being live over there. So go ahead. That's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna run the clip again for those who just came. Tell me, this is what you can do. Tell me how you like the show. Tell me how you like my delivery. Put that in the comments, and I'm expecting everyone to participate. You gotta stroke the girl's ego sometime. Everyone to participate. Post in the comment. Did you enjoy the show? I wanted to keep it an hour. I did that really well. I came on at 10, a little bit after 10:05. So we're on good time. You still got time to nibble on a couple of stocks, catch a movie, watch TV. I'll run this. But yeah, holler at me in the chat. Let's see what we got here.
In the Edmond drug ring trial in Washington, 24-year-old Rayful Edmond convicted of running a $2 million a week cocaine crime outfit in the nation's capital. The one-time schoolyard basketball star faces a mandatory life sentence now. 10 co-defendants, including friends and relatives, were found guilty on related charges. Security surrounding the trial was unusually tight. Names of the jurors were kept secret even from the judge and lawyers to guard against possible reprisals.
I'm back better than ever. I'm back better than ever.
Hell yeah.
I'm back better than ever.
All right. My first time here, I did it. Thank you, Santiago. Make sure you come back. You're over on Facebook. Come back. Subscribe. I'm not going to let you all go. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop my camera. And I want you all to subscribe. I love to read the comments. Thank you, Santiago. I'll come back. You said you'll come back. Please come back. Like the old folks say, keep on keeping on. You're doing a fine job. Keep us well informed. Glad that you're recovering from the accident. Love you and what you're doing. Thank you, Lisa. That's my big sister. Thank you so much. Lisa, are you subscribed? I think you ought to. I know you subscribed. Monique, for what I call great job. Keep up. I'll be back. Please come back. Please come back. Please come back. So how this works is the more subscribers you have, the more content you show, the more likes, the more follows. Listen, one day I want to come on YouTube and I've just had 1 million viewers or subscribers. That's what I want. And I'm expecting you all to push me and help me get there. So nonetheless, it's 11:08. Yes, I love you too. It's 11:08. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending this hour with me. I tried to just get straight to the point. And remember, nobody is bigger than the code. Nobody. Death before dishonor. There are a lot of people that still live by that motto. Death before dishonor, and nobody is bigger than the code. I absolutely appreciate every last one of you. I do from the bottom of my heart. You could have been anywhere tonight. You could have been watching anything in the world, but you spent your time here with me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.